Okay. So there's some of the things that you have to know, but then what I'm going to do now will not be on your test, but it's something that you have to know for algebra or even for math. Okay. And this is called a one-to-one function. So you know that, like when we say functions, we talked about it before. Functions is, there are a lot of different types. So I'm just going to name a few types. Functions can be like just a straight line or a U-shape or anything that you can draw that doesn't have more than one x at a time. So like let's say this graph right here, this is not a function. Okay, just a circle. This right here is not a function. Because when you draw a line straight down, you're hitting 2 points at a time. Okay, so this one is not a function. But the other two would be functions. Okay. Edit my, let's see. Danielle showed up, then Niger showed up. Okay. So yeah, from here, there's also something called one-to-one function. I don't know if you guys have heard of this back in Algebra 1. Has anyone heard of this? You guys can let me know in the chat. So what a one-to-one function is, it's every x has exactly one number y. And every y has exactly one number x. Okay, so I'm going to show you some one-to-one functions and some non-one-to-one functions. Okay, so let's say if I have y equals to x plus 5. And then if I have y equal to x squared. Okay. If I have to do my x and y over here, let's say if I use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. The same thing over here. So I'm like doing two graphs at the same time. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay. What would be the numbers on the left-hand side? Does anyone know? The y equal to x plus 5. What would be my outputs? Mm-hmm. 3. I'm actually just going to go down the list. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yes, good job, Evelyn. Okay. And then how about the ones on the right side? If it's, my graph is x squared, what are going to be the numbers? Four, 1, 0, 1, and 4. Good. Okay. And then I'll just graph it real quick. You guys should know the graph on the left-hand side, it's a straight line. So I'm going to find 5, and then it's just going to be a line going up like this. Okay, and then my graph on the on the right side is just a U shape. Okay, so the reason why the one on the left, it's a one-to-one function, is that if you're going to keep going with all of these numbers over here, none of them are going to repeat. Okay, no repeats. Even if you try out different numbers. Okay, but on the right side, you notice that we have numbers that are repeated right here. So that's why it's not a one-to-one function. Okay, so you have to have an x with a y, exactly one y, and no repeat x, no repeating y. Okay. Let me see. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay. So there's nothing that you really have to do about this. Just wanted you guys to know. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next part. Can I move on to the next slide? Does anyone still need the slide? If you join late, please watch the video later so you can get the notes. Okay, I'm gonna move on. So the next thing we're gonna do today, it's called increasing and decreasing functions. Okay, so when we talk about increasing functions or increasing intervals, we always go from left to right if it's going up. Okay, it has to be going up from left to right. And then decreasing interval, it's also left to right, but this one is going down. Okay. And whenever we talk about intervals, I think you guys are pretty good at this by now. We are always referring to the x values. Okay, another word, domain. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an example right now. If you can draw it. If you can't draw it by freehand, then just look at my graph. Okay. So, do you guys need some time to draw this? I'm just gonna write out domain and range, and when you're done drawing, tell me what would be the domain and range for this question here. Okay? And if you answer me in the chat, that means you're done writing. Yeah. Okay. Andrew, you got the domain. Then now you got the range. Okay, write it in as an interval, okay? Murray, try again with the domain, the first number. And then your range is okay. Eric, good. But Eric, brackets. Danelle, try again with the domain first number. Remember, look from the left to right of your x-axis. Ishmael, good. You're right. I'm sorry. It's my fault. This is -1. No wonder. Sorry, guys. That looks good. Chris, that looks good. And now good. Okay, answer me in the chat so then I know you're done writing. Chris, good. Carlos, try again. On the x-axis, starting from the left, where do you see a point that's being used? And then go all the way to the right. Monica, double check your first number. How about everyone else? Are you still writing? Are we thinking? Irene, that's good. Carlos, that's good. Okay. Evelyn, just look at the x-axis. What's the most left? What's the most right points? Those are going to be your domain. And if the points are being used. And in this case, all the points are being used. Carlos, I like the first number of your range. I don't like the second number. What's the highest point of your range? Irene, good. Evelyn, good. Erica, want to hear from you. Adriana. Natalie. Evelyn, that looks good. Just flip the numbers around though, because negative goes first. Carlos, that's better. That's good. Erica, what's the most left? What's the most right numbers? Those are going to be your domain. So let's write this down. Yeah, you got it. So the most left is -1 right here, because we are using the points. If we're not using the point, then you just see where we start with the point. Okay, and then it ends at 6. Yes, Adriana. So now for range, the lowest and the highest, that would be -1 and 1. Okay, I think you guys are okay with this. Next, because remember we're talking about increasing and decreasing, I want you guys to tell me what is the largest increasing interval and what is the largest decreasing interval? Okay, when I say largest is the more points that it covers, the more x values that it covers, that's the largest, okay? If you gotta compare, if you happen to have 2 increasing interval or if you have 2 decreasing interval, then just take a look, hey, how many points are we including more? Okay, and then when you're done, or when you have some ideas, let me know. And remember, look at the top. When we talk about intervals for increasing or decreasing, we are referring to the x values. So from where to where is it increasing? From where to where is it decreasing and is the largest? Okay, so your answer should be something like this. Oh, I'm sorry. When we talk about intervals for increasing and decreasing, they are parentheses. Because that's considered as like a point that's not moving. So increasing and decreasing are parentheses. Yes, Andrew, you got it right. So now try the decreasing. So guys, take a look at the graph. Follow from left to right. What's the flow? And then you tell me from where to where is it increasing. Eric, you got it. Andrew, you got it. Okay, I don't think you guys should have any problems with increasing. It's just decreasing may need some help. And if you were working on Mathia last year, I think you did something like this. Carlos, focus on the x values. And you can do a chop, like right here. If you're like, hey, I noticed that it's going down, up, down. So where that, point that changes, you draw a line right there. And then tell me based on the x values. Eric, good. You're decreasing intervals. Good. Oh, actually, yeah, you're good. Andrew, I forgot. You're decreasing interval. I like the second number. I don't like the first number. I forgot. Marie, let me see. Marie, which one are you telling me? Is this your increasing or decreasing? Or both? Yes, Andrew, you got it. Increasing and decreasing. Monica, I like your decreasing, but flip the numbers around. And then largest what? What does that mean? You mean increasing? Murray, I like your second answer, not really your first one. I like the last number though. Okay, let's go over this. I think I confused some of you guys. So you see how I did a chop on, yes, you got it. You know how I did a chop on where the minimum and the maximum values are? So let's look at just the increasing interval. Increasing, it just goes from here to here, just this part, right? That's the only that's increasing. And then when we talk about the interval, we have to go from the x to x. So in this case, it's 2 to 5. Right here. Make sense? 2 to 5. So next, we're going to talk about the decreasing interval. Decreasing, we have this one right here. And we also have this one over here. So that's decreasing. This is also decreasing. Okay, so the first decreasing interval is from -1 to 2. -1 to 2. The second one is from 5 to 6. So you guys can tell which one is more decreased, right? I mean, which one has more numbers in the interval, which is -1 to 2, because that's considered like 3 points. 5 to 6 is only 1 point. There's only one gap. But -1 to 2, there are 3 gaps. Okay? Does this make sense? Largest, increasing, decreasing? Okay. So I'm gonna have you guys look at your homework questions real quick. I'm gonna stop right here. So let me share my homework screen with you. I'm gonna stop sharing on this side. Does anyone still need this? Need my notes? No? Okay. Homework. Share this one. Okay, take a look at the homework. Your homework questions are, it's page 111, and then you are doing from no, hold up. Let me scroll up some more. Doesn't fit. Okay, well, if you want to, just look at your homework. It's from 2 to 14, even. It seems like it's a lot of questions, but it's not. It's the first 8. Actually, the first 10 is gonna be really easy. And you're only looking at this graph. Oops. This is your G function. Okay, just looking at this graph right here. Okay, start labeling your homework. And then what you're doing here is that if you look at number 2, it says, what is the largest interval contained in the domain of G on which G is increasing? Okay, so this is your graph. You tell me, where is this increasing? And then number 4 and number 6, you're gonna talk about, hey, what is the domain of the inverse of this interval that we just talked about? Okay, so we can do this one together. What is the largest interval that's increasing? Can you guys tell me in the chat? Where is it increasing? Yep. Andrew, you got it? I'm gonna type it. Danielle, yes. Carlos, try again. Remember, only look at the X values. Eric, try again. Increasing. Ishmael, you got it. Murray, yes. Eric's still not right. I like the first number, I don't like the second number. Casali, I like the last number, I don't like the first number. Casali, we're doing from only increasing. So remember, if I draw a line, like I cut it down, you see we broke this graph into 3 parts. Which part is the only one that's going up and it's a larger interval? Yes, it would be from, Natalie, you got it. So it would be from 3 to 5, right? Oh, okay. No wonder. I was like, where are you getting -3 from? Okay, so are we good? Our largest interval that's increasing is from 3 to 5 because this graph right here, it's going up and we're only looking at the X values. All right. So number 4, now that we're only focusing on this graph, let me erase this. Now that we're only focusing on from here to here, okay, where is the domain? So what is the domain of this part then? Just from here to here. So when they ask for domain, of the inverse. Remember, what else can we call this? The domain of the inverse is the range of the original, right? Do you guys remember that? So really, they're asking for the range of that increasing interval part. So what is the range? AKA the range. So just this blue part, it's going from -1 to 2. Yes? Oops, to 2. Just the part in blue. This is hard to understand. Okay, so now for number 6, we are looking at the range of the G in. Go ahead, Natalie. Okay, so when they ask for the range of the inverse, that means AKA the domain of what you're looking at right now. Domain of G. Okay, because it's the opposite of each other. What would be the domain then? Just what we're looking at right now, that little part of the graph? Mm-hmm. Andrew, you got it. Anyone else? Just the little blue part. What is the domain of that? Anyone confused? It would be in brackets. Yes. Eric, you got it. Carlos, I like the first number. I don't like the last number. Try again. Wouldn't the domain be -1 to 3? Where'd you get -1 to 3 from? For 4? No, I think it only went up to here. Because this one is a lot higher for Janelle, okay? It would be 3 to 5, actually. Yes, Carlos asked Chris, okay? Because this graph right here, if you do a chop, we're only looking at these two numbers, 3 to 5, okay? And then here goes our answers. So you are gonna do number 8, 9, and 8, 10, and 12. Okay, remember when they ask for the inverse, don't confuse, don't frustrate, or don't, what's it called, confuse yourself. Yeah, because that's really just the range of what you're looking at. The range inverse would just be the domain of what you're looking at. Okay, can I do 14? I can. Can I scroll though? Can I scroll away? Oops, sorry. Should I erase my marks now so you guys can look at it? Okay. For number 14, wait, hold on. Let me see. Carlos, not for number 8. Carlos, when you do a chop down, where the decreasing intervals are, where the decreasing intervals are at, where are the x values? When I draw a line down here, when I draw a line down here, oops, sorry, that's really bad. Thought I was drawing straight lines. Like that. This is my decreasing interval, right? So look at your x-axis. What number to what number is that? Okay, Carlos? Okay, sorry. For number 14, I just want to, we'll quick go over this before you guys go. Another way to write this, remember this is y equal x to the 4th minus 3x, right? That's another way to write our function. So if I want the inverse of it, the inverse of the function, we flip around our x and y. Three y like that. So you guys see that? This is our inverse function. And this was my original. They want to know if these points are put into my inverse function, which one of those will work? Okay, so what you want to do is I'm going to leave the x blank, leave the y blank, and then put the 4 up here, minus 3, and then leave the letter blank again. Okay, we are substituting our numbers into the function. So for x, I'm just going to look for my x and I put it in there. For my y, I'm going to put my y in there. And then you guys check to see if they are equal. If they are, then that means that's the point. If not, then that's not the point. Erica, Ishmael, and Danelle. Yes, you got it. Okay, so again, you are going to do this part right here for all 3 points. So far, I did this for the first point. Okay, and then we got to check whether this in the back equals to 2. If it does, that means that's the point. But if it's not, then that means keep going and find the other ones. Okay. Carlos, did you try again for the interval? Give it another try. What does number 10 mean? Number 10 is asking you kind of like what we did for number 3. It's asking for the domain of the inverse. That means we're looking for the range of the interval that you're looking at. Okay, does anyone in here need help for number 8? Getting the interval for number 8? Let me know. No. No. Not quite. Okay, we can go over it. So you see how I just draw these 2 lines down here? And we're looking at, we're looking at the x intervals. So x interval means when I draw my line down, it's from this point to this point. What, from where to where is this? Remember, you cannot look at the y numbers. You can only look at the x numbers. So it's from, this is for number 8. There we go. Yes, Eric, you got it. So it would be from zero to 3. That's for your number 8. Okay, now focus on this interval. I can't draw it. It's hard. But yeah, focus on this now, like this new interval, and then do number 10 and 12. Okay, that's it for today. I'm gonna stop sharing and